Hi, my name is Orpinel. I am in the 7th grade and I am from Albuquerque School of Excellence. My DISCO project is on Martin Luther King Jr. Do you know who Martin Luther King Jr. was? Martin Luther King was born January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia and was assassinated at age of 39 on April 4th, 1968. Martin's original name was Michael King, then decided to change it to Martin Luther in honor of the German reformer Martin Luther. Martin Luther King was the middle child between an older sister Willie and a younger brother Alfred Daniel King. King went to Boston University. King began doctoral studies and got his PhD on June 5, 1954. He is best known as a civil rights activist early in his career. He led the Montgomery bus boycott and helped found the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He also helped organize the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. Martin Luther King ran many campaigns as an activist, such as the Montgomery bus boycott, where a woman didn't want to give up her seat in a bus. And at that time, black people were not allowed to sit in the front of the bus, but she refused to give up her seat. Her name is Rosa Parks. Martin got arrested during this boycott. This campaign is one of his most known, included in the March on Washington, also known as the Civil Rights Movement. This is what most people know him for. He fought for black people's rights, like their freedom and their right to have good jobs and be treated as the white people. There were 6 civil rights organizations, each leader known as the Big Six. They were all at the March on Washington on April 28, 1963. He gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, which was given in front of the Lincoln Memorial. The march specifically demanded an end to racial segregation in public schools, meaningful civil rights legislation, including a law prohibiting racial discrimination in employment, protection of civil rights workers from police brutality, a $2 minimum wage for all workers, and self-government for Washington, D.C. Some other campaigns he contributed in was Bloody Sunday, Chicago Open House Movement, opposition to the Vietnam War, and Poor People's Campaign. On March 29, 1968, Martin went to Memphis, Tennessee in support of the black sanitary public works employees. The workers had been on strike since March 12th for higher wages and better treatments. On April 3rd, King was headed to Mason Temple, but his flight to Memphis got delayed due to a bomb threat against his plane. King was booked in room 306 at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. Abernathy, who was present at the assassination and testified to the United States House Select Committee on Assassination, that Martin and his entourage stayed at room 306. Martin stayed at this room so much that it was known as the King Abernathy Suite. When Martin was assassinated, at the motel balcony, his last words were to the musician Ben Branch. Ben, make sure you play. Take my hand, precious Lord. In the meeting tonight, play it real pretty. King was shot by James Earl Ray at 6:01 p.m. April 4th, 1968, as he stood at the motel's second-floor balcony. The bullet entered through his right cheek, smashing his jaw, then traveled through his spinal cord before lodging in his shoulder. The people there heard the shot and ran to see what had happened. What they saw was Martin on the ground. King died at St. Joseph's Hospital at 7:05 p.m. King's main legacy was to secure progress on civil rights in the U.S. days after King's assassination, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1968. Internationally, King's legacy includes influences on the Black consciousness movement and a civil rights movement in South Africa. His work was cited by and served as an inspiration for South African leader Albert Lutuli, who fought for racial justice in his country and was later rewarded the Nobel Prize. King's wife, Coretta Scott King, followed in her husband's footsteps and was active in matters of social justice and civil rights until her death in 2006. Beginning in 1971, cities such as St. Louis, Missouri, and states established annual holidays to honor King. At the White House Rose Garden on November 2, 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill creating a federal holiday to honor King. Observed for the first time on January 20th, 1986, it is called Martin Luther King Jr. Day, following President George H.W. Bush's 1992 proclamation. The holiday is observed on the third Monday of January each year, near the time of King's birthday. On January 17, 2000, for the first time, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was officially observed in all 50 U.S. states. Arizona, New Hampshire, Utah were the last 3 states to recognize the holiday. Utah previously celebrated the holiday at the same time but under the name Human Rights Day. We will remember Martin Luther King as a man who fought for his rights. Thank you for listening to my DISTCO project. This is the end, and the credits go to wikipedia.com and me, Anna Orpinel. Thank you so much.